The beauty of glass artistry and the process of making such creations is something all should see. The Museum of Glass in Tacoma, Washington exhibits beautiful glass installations from today's best-known artists. But the real treat for visitors is the Glass Studio. Here, visitors can watch throughout the day the process of creating such magnificent artworks. We got to meet with some of the studio's artists and watch up close just how the process is done. And we're in the glass blowing area here. This is called, what is this area called?
This is the Hot Shop at the Museum of Glass.
Hot Shop, Jane Russell's Hot Shop, right?
That's right.
And not Jane Russell from the movies, but another Jane Russell.
That's correct.
Yeah, and what's the story on Jane?
Jane was the wife of one of the founding members who passed away before the museum opened, so the Hot Shop is named in her honor.
Yeah.
What you see behind you here, glass blowing, happens every day that we're open. So in the academic year, Wednesdays through Sundays. During the summer months, we're open 7 days a week.
So people can come in and observe and learn and ask questions? And
yes.
It's interactive, a little bit interactive?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and then right now, they're what's that called over there, that big thing?
We got here is a reheating furnace, commonly referred to as a glory hole. Okay. And they're reheating the piece that they're creating. So today they're working on a limited edition set of bottles. Okay. And so what you're seeing right here is sort of the midpoint of the thing that's being made. So
a person could literally come in here and see a piece being made from start to finish?
Yes.
Well, that's pretty exciting.
It is.
But architecturally, people come to see this building because there's something special about it. It's a special designer that put this together, and what was his name?
Sure. There's a Canadian architect. His name is Arthur Erickson.
Okay.
And this building, and specifically the Hot Shop, is in this 90-foot steel cone that you see. Yeah. And it was done sort of in homage to Tacoma and the waterfront. There's a lot of lumber industry out here, and these this used to be an old, it's styled after an old wood burning mill called a wigwam burner.
Okay.
And so
yeah, it does look like a wigwam.
That's right.
Look, yeah.
And so it's tilted 17 degrees to the north for aesthetic purposes.
And then you're in the glass blowing arts.
Yes.
Okay, now can you explain to people a little bit about that as opposed to just making glass?
Well, it's both. I mean, I make glass professionally. I work for the Museum of Glass, and that's my main job is making stuff out of glass.
Sure.
So we have a big visiting artist program here, and we work with artists from all over the world in different capacities. So I am a glass maker. I'm also an artist, so I have my own visions in which I usually and typically create them out of glass.
Okay, great. What kind of things can we see here?
You can see a lot of different things. One of our mainstays here is a Kids Design Glass program, and there's always a bit of those featured out in the Grand Hall and in the art alley here. And that's where we invite kids 12 and under to come into the museum, make a drawing, and once a month we choose one winner. We invite the family to come in on the last Sunday of every month, and we make their drawing into glass.
That's what I saw as I was going down that corridor towards the restrooms. There was all these different, they look like kids designed them.
Yep, so we make two pieces, we give one to the family, and we retain one for our collection that we have turned into a traveling exhibition.
Wow, that's great. Why don't you talk us, we'll spin around, and if you could just walk us through what they're doing a little bit.
All right, so what you see right now is the guy in charge who's sitting at the bench. His name's Gabe Feenan, and he is, we call this puntying up, so Darren Dennison, guy in the red shirt here, is bringing a rod.
Okay, and that's a steel rod, right? Steel
blowpipe and a solid steel rod, and they're transferring the piece from, it was blown on the blowpipe, now it's being transferred to the punty so that they can work on the top. So if you ever look at a handmade drinking glass or a vase, you know the edge is nice and rounded and finished. And this is the way that we go about finishing the top of the piece.
Now in there, is that molten glass in there?
This furnace here is strictly for reheating.
Okay,
so it's fueled by forced air and natural gas, and so it's basically a big insulated barrel.
Okay.
And that's used for reheating the piece while we're working on it.
So initially they take the glass with the rod out of molten
furnace
area.
right here, you want me to show you?
Yeah, if we could.
So this is one of our true furnaces here at the museum.
Wow.
This holds about 1,000 pounds of molten glass.
And that's sand, right?
It's a little bit more complex than sand, but basically sand, yes.
That's a major component of sand.
There's a handful of different types of glass. This is a soda lime glass.
Okay.
So the basic elements are silica,
sure,
soda ash, and lime. Those are the three main components. And that's mostly in window glass, cups, bottles, things like that you have at home. There's also something called borosilicate, which is a boron-based glass.
Okay.
And that's something like you're familiar with would be Pyrex.
Oh, right.
So this glass is not heat thermal shock sort of resistant.
Okay.
This, if you put it in the dishwasher, sometimes it will break.
Heat it, cool it too quickly.
Right, you can't put this in your oven at home. Pyrex you can take out of your fridge and put right into the
That's
oven.
right, you sure can.
And so that's one of the, it's a very low expansion glass. This is not.
Well, and I noticed that they're doing a lot of different kinds of work. They're putting different colors and
Yep.
all that. Now, how do they get the different colors?
So here at the museum, we only have 2 furnaces of clear glass, like I said before, and we buy all of our color externally. There's about 3 major color manufacturers around
Okay.
the world, and so we use any one of those 3 manufacturers. 2 of them are in Germany, and 1 is in New Zealand. And so that allows us to have a selection of anywhere between, about 350 to 400 different colors. We start with a little bit of clear glass out of the furnace. We'll reheat some of that bar depending on the scale of the piece that we're making. We'll heat it up to about 1,000 degrees, and then we'll pick it up on a solid rod, and we'll actually get it molten and then smooth it over that glass bubble that we've created.
Okay.
That is then cased in more clear glass and blown up to give you the desired effect.
Oh, that's amazing. So now he's back in the oven here.
That's right. So typically when they're going back and forth, the glass, depending on how hot you get it, will be pliable and workable between, 30 seconds to a minute.
Okay.
So time is of the essence, and he's trying to make the most out of the heat that he has.
Yeah, and it's a 2-man job in this case.
Yeah, for the most part, glass blowing is sort of a team sport.
Okay.
That's how I would view it. You can blow glass by yourself, it's just not nearly as much fun, and it limits you in what you're able to do. So here at the museum, when you come in on any given day, you'll see at least a 3-person team out here making something. And most of the time, the other large component that we have here is a visiting artist program. So over the past 11 years that we've been open, we've had over 350 different artists from all over the world, from painters to poets to metal sculptors, come through these doors and work with us here on the floor. And it's our job to sort of understand what their vision is and to create it for them.
Okay, and help them work through it.
That's right.
Wow.
And so on any given day, the average visitor is coming through and seeing something that they would not get to see anywhere else.
Wow.
Most of these artists work in private studios. They don't work in the public eye. When we first opened it, the Hot Shop was billed as a working artist studio. So you're coming in here and you're seeing something that you wouldn't get to see on a normal day.
Wow, it makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it?
I think so.
I mean, you could spend a whole day here with the Hot Shop.
Right, and many people do. It's a great place to be, especially in the wintertime.
Right, and I noticed you had a little cafe out there, get some food.
Yep, absolutely.
Day, and just enjoy your day with the family, right?
Yeah, it's a great place to come.
I love it. Well, thanks so much for having us.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. And thank you so much for being here with us. And until next time, just remember to enjoy.